So, you want to get into VTubing and you're not quite sure where to begin. Well, I have a number of tips that hopefully can help you along your VTubing journey. Hello, my name is Levanael Okada. I have been a VTuber for around 2 years now, and I have learned a lot of things in that time. So, I figured I should share them with you. I'm hoping that the tips and advice I offer aren't as repetitive as every other list of tips for beginner VTubers. There will inevitably be some repeated things here, but if you are hearing the same thing across all of these lists, that's because it's a very important thing for new VTubers to learn. And also, I don't want it to deter anybody, but I will not be sugarcoating what I say. There are a number of harsh realities that come with VTubing that I think every beginner needs to be aware of before they jump in. So, let's get started. My biggest tip for any beginner VTuber is to just start streaming. Get a channel, download a streaming software, and hit the go live button. Most VTubers these days are streamers. If you have not streamed before, if you're brand new to streaming, the most important thing about stepping into VTubing is to get used to the idea and the workflow of streaming. Streaming takes a lot of work, especially if you are doing it by yourself or for the first time. If you have never streamed before, there's no certainty whether or not you're even gonna like it. Take baby steps and learn whether you like it at all. You don't need a model, overlay, assets, any of that stuff, but if you would like it, if you would like to get the full VTubing experience from the get-go, there are a number of ways to go about it. If you are not an artist and you are looking for a design or just assets to use, there are plenty of cheap and free assets you can use from places like Etsy, Ko-fi, Booth, anything from overlays, emotes, chat widgets, live 2D models, PNG tuber designs, 3D model designs. You can find anything. And some of those assets are even customizable, so poke around, see what you can find. The only things you really need are a computer, streaming service, channel, and a microphone. You don't even need a webcam because you can do PNG tubing. Regardless of what you choose to do though, please start small. I cannot emphasize this enough. Do not spend a bunch of money. I will say that again. Do not spend a bunch of money. You do not need an expensive model, you do not need expensive overlays, custom emotes, sound effects, background music, you don't need any of that. This tip really does go hand in hand with the previous one because I have seen it over and over again in the VTuber community. There will be someone who begins their VTubing journey and is a super social butterfly. They spend all the time, the money, the effort accumulating art, fancy rigging, a totally decked out model, overlays, emotes, anything you could possibly think of. This person will invest so much money into VTubing, and maybe over the course of, months, years, they'll maybe stream 2-3 times. They debut, it's massively successful, all of their friends turn out, it's amazing, and it's a wonderful experience. And then in 4 months they decide to quit VTubing altogether because they realize streaming is not actually for them. So then they've wasted all of this money, they've wasted all of this time, simply because they didn't take the baby steps to make sure that streaming and VTubing was something that they actually wanted to commit and invest in. Again, take those baby steps, take it one step at a time, take it slow, and don't go throwing a bunch of money around before you realize what you're actually getting into. You don't need any of that stuff to have a successful early VTubing career, or even a long-standing one for that matter. And another small tip that kind of goes along with this point, you don't need a debut. In fact, I would highly recommend against having a debut if you're just getting started. Debuts are really fun and they're a great way to introduce yourself to your community, but you're brand new here. You don't have a community. Take it from someone who lived it. Back when I started VTubing, I had a debut about 7 months into my first life. Brand new model, a lore video, all kinds of stuff. And when the day finally came, I ended up debuting to an average of 0.4 viewers. So please, start small, take baby steps. You can always have that stuff later on. The next tip is all about networking. If you've watched any other VTuber tip videos before, this one always comes up. And at first, I didn't listen to it because I'm a very introverted person. I'm not really good at networking. I don't talk to a lot of people. So I didn't really want to do the social legwork of it all. But networking is very important. You don't have to spend all of your time making friends and being social on social media, but definitely make a few. Put yourself out there, go to other VTuber streams, interact in their chat, comment on their Twitter posts. It's that easy. Yes, it can be daunting at first, especially because you're strangers, but almost every VTuber you come across would be more than happy for you to comment on their tweet or their art or to say hi in their chat if they're streaming. The tiniest interaction can open the door to a wide breadth of friendships. Having other streamers and VTubers in your social circle helps you grow, helps you feel less lonely, it gives you better opportunities down the road, and it also creates a support system. Your friends are going to help you market your debut, or your cover, or your streams, or literally anything else you do. You are under no obligation to collaborate with anybody, just go out there and say hi. You don't have to do it alone, and I don't recommend that you try. Next, very importantly, do not become obsessed with growth. Growing takes 3 things: hard work, time, and a whole lot of luck. You can watch every video on the internet about growing as a VTuber, how to grow your VTube channel, how to grow overnight, etc., but the fact of the matter is, there is no surefire way to guarantee growth. I've been doing this for 2 years, and I'm lucky to hit an average of 2 viewers a stream. Like, growth is not consistent, growth is not guaranteed. Growth will come with time, but if you're not willing to put the time in, you're not going to see any growth. Be consistent, be persistent. You do have to put in the work, and growth will eventually come. Finally, you need to learn how to have fun. With how much work and time, energy, effort that you need to put into VTubing, a lot of people burn out very quickly. So with that in mind, you need to find the fun in VTubing. And you need to do it for yourself, not for other people. For me, I genuinely love streaming. I love sharing the experiences of streaming and games with other people. But even if nobody is watching, I don't do it because I want people to watch it. I do it because I have fun doing it. And if there's other people who also find joy in that, that's amazing. So that's why I keep VTubing even though I have not been very successful this far. VTubing can feel like it's all work and no gain. And sometimes it can take a mental toll, but that's why it's important for you to find what's fun about it for you. If it's not fun and you're getting frustrated and you're stressed out, then pull back. Take breaks, deconstruct why you're not having fun, but unless you find that fun factor, you will not last very long. And that's all the tips I have for you today. I'm sure I could come up with some other things if I really sat down and thought about it, but I think these are the most important things to keep in mind when you're just starting out. If you have any questions about VTubing, then please feel free to leave them in the comments and I will answer them when I see them. I am always happy to help. But thank you for watching. If you would like to support my channel, you can subscribe here on YouTube or you can drop me a follow on Twitch. I'm also on TikTok and Twitter if those tickle your fancy. I really enjoyed making this video and I've got a few ideas for a couple other videos, so be on the lookout for those sometime. But until then, that's all for now. See you later.